Welcome to Land a House. I'm Seth. Today I'm setting up the Genmitsu PROVerXL 2x2. This CNC machine has the ability to mill out a 2-foot by 2-foot section. Quite impressive. This thing is also a heavy beast, so be careful when you're moving it around. So let's go ahead and unbox this, set it all up, and then run the first project. This is my first time opening up this box, so let's see what all is included here. The user manual right on top. Here is a dust shoe. It's nice to see that. Keep my shop from getting too dusty. The Genmitsu 710 watt compact router. Drag chains and the wiring harness. Over here, there is the router mount. Cables and other hardware required to get the unit installed. We've got a paintbrush, USB cable. Here is the probe. Hopefully I'll be able to use that. Got some bits in here. Mounting plate. More mounting plates. Got some wrenches. Here is the nuts and bolts that'll be used for the install. There's the control board. There's the Z-axis. It's nice to see that the stepper motor is pre-installed on that. Ah, there we go. Ooh, yep, it's heavy. Y2 motor and a Y1 stepper motor. X stepper motor. Here are the two side rails. Now we're down to the frame, which I will pull out of here. I like how all these are labeled with letters. Makes it easy for assembly. The spoil board slats are also down here. Pull one of those out. You can look at it there. Now that the unboxing is out of the way, it's time to assemble the 2x2. Now I have built the Genmitsu 4040 and the 6050 before, and it looks like this is going to be a similar assembly process. So first thing I noted is that this needs almost a 4-foot by 4-foot table. I only had 4-foot by 3-foot, so off camera I added an additional 1 foot to my working table here. So we should be good to go to get this thing assembled. The user manual that comes with this machine is really fantastic. It's got all the info you're going to need to get this thing assembled. So I will begin here, but just keep in mind that everything you need is labeled here on the box. So when you open this up, you have what you need to get started. For step one, I took the X axis and the X motor. I lined the shaft up, got that put into the hole. I then used some M416 socket head screws to get that attached. I did make sure that the wires would be facing toward the back of the X axis. Just like the X axis, I took the Y axis rail and the two Y stepper motors and got those aligned onto the shaft. Used those M416 hex screws to get that installed. Now I did have to cinch this down a little tighter in order to get it to fit properly into the hole, but it was a very similar install to the X axis. I also angled the wire terminals towards the back of the rail. I believe that's how it's supposed to go. I've got the support rails A and B set aside over here, and now I need to get the hardware assembled, which is using these M530 screws with some washers. I need to make 8 of these, so I'm going to get the M530s, put the locking washer on first, and then a regular washer, and that's what I'm going to do for the next 7 of those. I placed the A support rails on the middle and then the B support rails on the side and used the M530 screws that were assembled with the 2 different types of washers to get that structure put together. On the front and back of the A and B rail system, I put the C rail. Now there is a direction on these. The screw head has to fit down into the little groove on this rail, so make sure that that is on the outside when you put these together. And then just use some of the M525 screws to get that put together. After the support base is put together, I laid out all 9 of the T-slot spoil board. Now there is a tongue and groove type of fitting that you have to be mindful of. So you have to lay them all out and turn them in the correct direction so that they will fit together. Otherwise the screw holes don't line up. I then used the M516 screws to get all of this put together. Now there are 54 of those screws, so if you've got a drill attachment, that will make things go a lot faster. I don't, so I put all these in here manually. After the spoil board is attached, it's time to install the Y1 and Y2 axis. Now these are very heavy, and I actually had to go back and loosen up the spoil board on the front and back in order to get this to go on properly. I even used a rubber mallet to tap it into place because it was a bit stubborn. Whenever I installed the Y-axis, the right side was still left a little bit loose so that I could install the X-axis on top and press it down into place. I used some M5 16 socket head screws to get that in. I did have to bring that all the way to the front and then tighten down the Y on the right side, take it to the back, and then tighten down the back of that Y rail to make sure that it was evenly spaced. Installing the Z module is fairly simple. Use the 4 M520 socket head cap screws. They are a bit different from the other screws that have been used. And I was able to use my Allen wrench and just slightly angle them into the hole and then get those screws installed without too much trouble. To install the spindle holder, I used the 4 lowest holes, which was how it looked in the manual. I'm sure you can move that up if need be. And I just used the M516 socket head screw caps to get those installed, and it's quite simple to do that. Assembling the hardware components of the 2x2 was a bit time consuming. It took me around 2 hours total to get all of that assembled. But everything fit together nicely, and it actually was a rather pleasant experience. So the next step is to move on to the spindle, which we will unbox and get attached here on the spindle mount. This is the Genmitsu 710 watt 65 millimeter spindle. Let's go ahead and get this unboxed and look at it. Looking very nice. I like how it has these indicators here so it can be adjusted for height. I'm going to place the spindle here into the spindle holder. I'm sure that I will need to adjust the height later, but let's just pick a spot and then get this tightened up. There are 3 drag chain brackets that need to be installed. The biggest one goes right behind the Z-axis, and you have to use some M5 8 screws to get that installed. The smallest bracket goes right behind the stepper motor on the X-axis. And then lastly, on the back of the left Y-axis, there is a bracket that goes down at the bottom to hold that drag chain in place. Now that I've got the brackets in place, it's time to get the drag chains installed. Luckily, Genmitsu already has all of the cables through these drag chains, and that will save quite a lot of headache. So let's go ahead and get started getting all of this put in place. I'm going to start off by finding the end of the drag chain that has the spindle motor power cable, as you see right here. And I'm going to lay it on top, and then I'm going to swoop around here, and I can go ahead and connect this piece up here to the bracket. I'm going to use these M46 screws. The other end of that same chain is going to slide into position and use these mounting screw holes right here. And once again, using those M46. Now the other drag chain goes on the side over here, the left side. My apologies for the poor camera angle. That's about as good as I can get. So I'm just going to use those same screws to get this installed down here. Now that I've got the drag chains installed, it's time to start working with the wiring. This is the control box for this unit. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at it, and we'll know where to put the wiring for this system. Here on the top of the control board, we've got the resume, pause, home, and e-stop buttons. There's a Wi-Fi module location and the offline controller location. If we turn over here, there is a trimmer router plug right there on the side. Hopefully you can see that. And if we turn over here to the back, it's where all of the connections are going to be made. At first, all of these different connections may seem a bit daunting, but luckily the wire harness has a little sticker on each one of these to tell you where it goes. So you just have to match up everything and you will be just fine. So for example, here is Y1 signal. So I'm going to look on here and find the Y1 signal is right over here. I'm going to line up those pins, press that together, spin the locking mechanism, and that one is done. While I'm here, I'm also going to plug in the router power over here. My version of the 2x2 did come with the Wi-Fi module, so I'm going to place that here in this little compartment, and then I'm able to use this connector cable to go from the offline port right here to the unit. So I'm just going to simply plug that up here. Now that I have all the wires on the control board wired, it's time to get the other end of those connected from the spindle power, limit switches, motor power, and the like. So let's go ahead and start right here and get this part wired up. I'm going to connect the spindle power here. Get that out of the way. This is the Z limit. I need to find the other end of Z limit. Looks like it's right here. Over here I've got X limit and X limit. Now the remaining two are the Z signal and Z motor. That's going to go up here at the top. Over here on the side I've got Y limit and Y limit. Next I've got the X motor and the X signal. Now moving to the back of the CNC, I've got the Y1 signal and the Y1 motor, which is going to be over here on this side. So having rolled around here on top of my table, I recommend that you have a roll around table to make this process a little easier to get to. And now lastly, here on the other side, I am at the other motor, which I am able to get this attached down here. I've placed an 1/8 inch bit into the collet down here. I was able to plug power up into the control board. I see everything is turned on. I've got the USB going to my computer. So let's jump in here and see about getting the information from this USB stick into the computer to be used here. I've opened up the USB drive here. I see the drivers and the software. Now I imagine most of this will be pretty boring for you, so I'm going to go through it pretty quick. But there are drivers for Windows. Go ahead and get those installed. In the root of the USB drive, there is a file called Make Your First Project. If you click on that, it gives you some very clear and precise instructions on what to do. So we're going to open up this candle program, which I have got right here. I just had to extract that from the drive, and this little window pops up. Now, the machine is currently not connected to this program. You go to Service, Settings. Where it says COM, you have to change that to the correct number. In my case, I found that it is COM 6. Let's click on that. And you go down here and just press OK. And you'll know if it connects properly if in this window over here it says this 1.1H for help. So currently it says alarm. In order to fix that, I just click the little lock button, and now my machine is unlocked and ready to go. I can hear it moving over here. So that means my machine is now connected to the computer and ready to be used. Now for some of the settings here, I can turn on the spindle. If I scroll down here a little bit, I can see the step size and the feed. So earlier it was set to 100, and whenever I clicked the jog, it just allowed the whole machine to go way further than I was comfortable with. So I brought that down here. Let's say, the step of 10, it's not going to be moving over quite as much. So, all right, that's how you get the machine hooked up. And now you can follow the rest of the directions here. After you've got it connected, you come down here and you can run your first project. So let's do that real quick. I have a piece of 3/4 inch plywood. I'm going to use some of these included clamps to lock this into place. So these little feet will just allow this to set up in there, and then I'm going to use the T-track with the hardware in order to prevent this from moving around. So probably at least 4 of these to hold this into place. So I'm going to slide this into the T-track. There we go. I now have the 3/4 inch plywood locked down. You can see I have 4 different locations, so it's not going to go anywhere. I've got the spindle turned on. Now let's go ahead and load up our project and see it mill out of this wood. Now that I have that plywood locked down, it's time to load our project and test it out. So we'll go up here to File and Open. And I'm going to find in the USB drive where it has the SainSmart.nc. When I open that, we will then be able to see a file here that can be cut out using the CNC. So I've got the router set up where I want it, except I need to have it in the opposite corner. You can see here is the 0 point, and currently my router is set to the top corner, so I'm going to jog down. I now have the router in the position that I want it. Right here you can see it wants me to put a piece of paper on top of the plywood and then bring the router bit down until it touches, and I can slightly remove that paper. And then I can go in here and set the origin point, the 0xy, and the 0 for the z as well. You can see I have a piece of paper under here, and it is able to move, but just barely. I can bring that down a little bit more. Getting close. That's it right there. All right, I'm going to remove the paper. And we are zeroed out right there. Now I can zero the X, Y, and Z by pressing right here and right here. We should be good to go for this test. Now, because this is the very first job that I am running with this machine, I'm not sure if it starts the spindle automatically. And so I'm going to go ahead and click on here to turn the spindle on. I'm going to send by pushing this button down here in the bottom. On that first test, I had this 1/8 inch bit and it was way too big. So I have reset it to that little tiny point and we should get some better results. And there we have it, the full setup and first run of the SainSmart Genmitsu PROVerXL 2x2 CNC machine. Like I said before at the beginning of this video, I have used the 4040 and the 6050 CNC before, and now the 2x2 is quite an impressive machine. So if you want to check out more information about this CNC, I will have a link to it in the description down below. Now, I have barely touched the surface of what this machine can do, and so stay tuned for future videos to see more projects with this CNC. I'm Seth with Land to House, and I will see you in the next video.